Okay, so the first thing we need to do is create the project. So go ahead and launch the Unreal Engine launcher and just click on Games Blank Project. We're going to start a blank project. We're going to be doing everything from scratch. And instead of blueprints, we want to choose C++, and we're going to call this Wukong. And click Create. When you click Create, it's going to take a while, but it's doing its job in the background, so don't close anything out, just wait until it compiles. And I will be right back. Okay, so the first thing I like to do is create my folders. Now for the IDE, I'm using Writer. So Writer Link plugin is required. I'm going to install plugin in game. I do not do it in Engine because I've had problems before. So I'm using Writer, but I know a lot of people are going to be using the Visual Studio. So with Writer, I just like it better. So, and I've used JetBrains projects before. A lot of their IDEs I have used and I still use because I do software development as a career, not in game development. So I've only been working with Unreal for about a year and C++ with Unreal Engine for about 6 months. So I'm just going to go ahead and wait for the Unreal Engine source files to do its thing in the background. And the first thing I like to do is come in here and create folders. So we're going to create a new folder and we're going to do Wukong. I like doing underscore because it puts it up at the top, and then we're going to create another folder. We're going to call this maps, and another folder, and we're going to call this one game mode. So now that we've created the folders, we want to save current level. Save current level. Make sure you come in here and go into maps. And instead of new map, I just call this test map. And I like creating a test map just because I can drop everything in there that I'm working with, all the blueprints, the characters, the assets, whatever you have. You want to make sure you test it. Don't build out the level. I know that's fun. So I like doing that at the very last when I really get things fleshed out. So we've saved the current level. We have to create a Gamemode Blueprint. Now, to do that, since it's a C++ project, we just go right in here to Wukong. We have a Gamemode base right here, and it's written in C++, so we just have to right click, create a blueprint class, and we're going to put this in game mode, and we're going to call this Wukong Gamemode base BP. Make sure it's blueprints and create a blueprint class. Okay, so it's opened up, and first thing I like to do, first thing I like to do is to go in here into editor preferences. And I look for asset editor open location main window. So it opens up in the main window instead of a new window. And we have to go in here to project settings. We want to go to maps and modes. Default a game mode. You want to choose Wukong Gamemode base BP. Make sure it's the BP one. Startup map. We want to do our test map. Default map. We want to do our test map. Okay, so now Project settings, maps and modes is done, and we want to do world settings. And we have world settings. Game mode override. We need to make sure it's Wukong game mode base BP. Go ahead and save project. So we've created our game mode, and what I want to do is show you. You can go to Google, type in Unreal Engine game mode docs, and this right here, game mode and game state. I would highly recommend to just read over this and go over everything. It explains everything, so there's no reason for me to go over everything. And in a lot of the videos, you're going to see me not explaining things in too much detail, because I would like for you to get into the habit of, well, I don't know what this exactly does. So best thing to do is just go to Unreal Engine documents and read up on it, and that way they can explain it a lot better than I can, and then you can understand the details of it. So now that we have this, we need to create a new character. So let's go ahead and go into C++ project, the Wukong project, and create a new character. Right click, new C++ class, or you can come up here to tools, new C++. So however you want to do it. And this should look familiar. We have actor, pawn, character. We are going to choose character and go down here, and then we want to go to public, and we're just going to call this character. And instead of my character, it's going to be Wukong character. So this is going to create the Wukong character C++ file in public character. So go ahead and create class. This will take a few minutes to compile. As you can see here, it's compiling. While that is happening, I am going to jump over and get some more coffee. Okay, so it looks like we got an error, unable to patch action graph. So this happens sometimes. Sometimes it compiles successfully. So if you're using Visual Studio and everything went fine, that's great. Let's see. So if you have this error, sometimes it doesn't compile. And if we look here, as you can see here, we have the red text. So it's just saying it cannot find the character Wukong.h, but it's right here. We go to games and we go to source Wukong, private, public. Everything's here. So the problem is it just didn't link it up properly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to shut down the editor, and I'm going to come over here. You want to go to your project folder. I'm going to go ahead and shut down the editor as well. And you're right here in your project. What you want to do is go down to the Unreal Engine project. You want to right click. I'm on Windows 11, so I want to go to show more options. Generate the Visual Studio project files. You want to click that, and it's generating the project files. So now what we can do is we can launch the editor again. So this is just creating the character. It's processing the files. So it looks like it's updating the source file. So it looks like it fixed it. Sometimes you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to go in here and regenerate files. You don't have to do it all the time. Also, another thing is when you are having problems, sometimes when you click on a blueprint and you click on the blueprint and on the details tab, it's just blank, just empty, and you can't get it back. Shut down a project, restart it, it just doesn't come back. So what you want to do is you can go in here to saved, click on that, click on intermediate and binaries. These three folders, saved, intermediate, and binaries, you can delete them, then right click, and then you can regenerate the project files. Then when you double click on the project, it's going to ask you to install the modules. You click on yes, and you wait a while. It will compile, recreate everything, and sometimes that fixes problems. So it looks like everything's fixed. So now we can jump back into the editor, which I'm just going to go ahead and launch it right from here. And we got another error. So this happens with Rider sometimes. Wukong project, the target engine UE5 does not exist in the project. Well, the reason for that is because for some reason Rider wants to make sure that this is the project that you need. So come up here, top right, click Wukong. Also, you want to come down here and click on Debug a Game Editor Win64. And make sure it's the Wukong project, not the UE5, because when you try to compile it, it's going to give you, UE5 does not exist in the project. Then when you click Run, everything's good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this while it compiles. But the first time you launch the project, it needs to compile everything. But once it's done that, it doesn't have to redo it. Only redoes the changes that you've made. And also, we do a lot of hot reloading anyways. But I'm going to let this run, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now we're back in the editor. What we want to do is we want to create a blueprint class. So we want to go to public, character, Wukong character. As you can see, the parent class is character. We want to right click, create blueprint class. We want to go into the Wukong project, and I'm going to create a folder inside here, new folder, and I'm just going to name this character. Yeah, I think that's good. Create blueprint class from the C++ class that's in C++ Wukong public character. Create blueprint class, and we want to put this in the character folder. We are going to call this Wukong character. We're going to create the blueprint class. Now this character we are going to get from the marketplace, and it's free from Paragon Assets. So we're going to go ahead and save this. I'm going to close that out. So we have everything here. As you can see, we've created a blueprint class. Now, if you go into your character folder, when you hover over it, it says parent class Wukong character. So this is the best way to get started with C++. If you're comfortable with blueprints, you can keep doing blueprints. Just make sure that you create your characters and other items like actors in C++, and then you can just jump into here, go into the event graph, and do your thing with blueprints. So now what we need to do is we need to import. So go ahead and launch the Epic Games launcher. We want to go to the marketplace, and inside here, marketplace, just type in Wukong. As you can see here, Paragon Wukong. We're going to be using this character. So go ahead and get that. It's free. It's made from Unreal Engine, the Paragon asset. And get that, add that to the project. Once you add that to the project, so it's adding that to the project, and I will be right back. Okay, so we've added the Paragon Sun Wukong asset to the project from the Unreal Marketplace. So it should show up here, Paragon Sun Wukong. You want to go down here, you want to click on Characters, then you click on Heroes, then you click on Wukong, and then right in here we have everything we need. We have all the animations, and we have meshes. So we're going to go ahead and use one of these meshes. So the best thing to do is when you get an asset, especially something like this, what I like to do is, if I'm going to be using animations from it, I go in and I look at all the animations. I spend the time and I go through and I look at all the animations to see what it has, what it looks like. That is the best thing to do, so you can get yourself familiar with all of that. So what you want to do is go into skins. And these have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different skins that you can use. They're right here. We have Fury, we have Future King, we have Great Sage, Infernal, and Royal. So these are the skins that you can use. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Great Sage. So once you pick the skin that you want to come in here to your Wukong Blueprint, and you want to click on Mesh. Then go to Skeletal Mesh. And I'm going to do the Wukong Great Sage. Okay, so go to location. I'm just going to type in -88 and -90 because, well, I want it to be facing the right direction. As you can see here, the blue arrow, it is facing the right direction. So go ahead and compile and save. So if you jump into the game and let's say you click play, nothing shows up. And that is because we have to go in here into world settings where it says game mode override. We have Wukong Gamemode Blueprint that we have chosen. Selected game mode. Click that and you want to choose default pawn class. You want to choose the default pawn class that you created, which I have 2 of them here, which I made a mistake and I did not name this properly. So let me go back in here into character. This is a blueprint class, so you want to say BP blueprints. Hopefully you caught that and you didn't do what I did. So let's go back here into default pawn class and let's type in Wukong character BP. You want to choose the blueprint one. Come up here. And of course we have the HUD class. We're going to be working on that. Controller class, the game state, player state, and spectator class. This is the game mode settings. So that is what you want to do. You want to go to default pawn class and choose the correct one. Now, as you can see here, it looks like, and I'm going to go ahead and eject out of here. So now we have a Wukong character. But we have no movement. Also, when we start the game, it looks like we're actually inside the character. That is because we don't have a camera boom spring arm, and we don't have a camera, which that is what we are going to do in the next video. But before we do that, you want to come into here, click on search, click on type in player. I'm looking for a player start. It does not exist. So I want to come over here to place actors and go to player start, and I want to place it right here. So now when you click play, it'll be right here. And of course we have no movement, we don't have a camera set up, and as you can see, we were right inside that capsule. So we're going to do that in the next video. We just needed to do the project setup. We've created the game mode. We've created a C++ character class. We've created a blueprint from that C++ class. And now we are going to do the spring arm and camera so we can look at the player while we are playing the game. See you in the next video. Bye for now.